Hey all, Russ here, RVerTV. Check this out. Look at the winds. I'm here in Shoshone, California at the RV park. Sun's coming up. It's going to be a pretty day, except it's going to be pretty windy. But we are going to go for it. We're heading into Death Valley National Park. Gonna go find that historic super bloom happening below sea level. Been seeing it all over the internet. I'm here, we're doing it. So let's hop in the van, get it going. What do you think? Alright, I'm gonna run up here to the gas station, grab some coffee, get me a couple cups to take into the park. Get turned around here. Thank goodness I don't need fuel. Alright, this only take a second. Okay, here we go. Every single time I've ever come to Death Valley National Park, the winds are blowing like this. I must have brought it with me. Had a nice little stay there at the Shoshone RV Park. I recommend it. If you ever get a chance, pop in there. Reasonable rates. They do have a pool with mineral water. It was under construction last night. Didn't matter. But they have a swimming pool full of that good mineral water around here. Well, wind or no wind, they ain't gonna blow the flowers out. I don't care. We're here. It's an adventure. RVerTV style. Heck yeah. I'm excited. This is gonna be cool. We're gonna see something historic this morning. Alright, I'm going to make a left up here. We're not going to go in the conventional way. We're going to take Badwater Road. This road right here. The park is still, we got to go in about 10 miles to get to the park. And Badwater right there, you see it on the sign, it's over 55 miles. Make a left. We're going to go over a small mountain pass, and then we drop all the way down to sea level or below it. Badwater itself is like 280 feet below sea level. We'll go there too. We're going to go at all. We're going to end up in First Creek, which is probably about 70 miles from here right now. Alright, sit back. Let's go find some wildflowers. Historic wildflowers. Alright, I didn't film some of that. This big flat open road. We've already traveled about 8 miles. The park sign should be right up here. We'll make a stop. Look at them mountains up there. We're going to go up and over and all the way down into Death Valley. Alright, here's the property line. Alright, I'm going to set up the cameras, get ready. Little map of the area. Sorry about the wind. Hottest, driest place on the planet. Well, in North America. I think over in Middle East, they got some places that are a little farther below. It looks green though, doesn't it? We got green desert. They had record rainfall here. A little color in that bush. See some yellows. Where's all your buddies? We're gonna go find them. And the big old official entrance. One of them. Most people go up to Death Valley Junction in that way, or come in from the west, which is Panamint Springs. Highway 190 is the main highway that cuts through. I think this one's 178, something like that. This will end, this road will end in just a few more miles. Alright, there's the camera. We're ready to rock and roll. That's what you're going to be seeing. I drove in this way, 3 years ago, I think. Cut up through into Badwater. I always call it Badlands, Badwater. Don't drink the water here. Kind of a rough road, especially when you get in a little farther. All this is still maintained by either the county or the state here. Then it ends. Here's our first pass, called Salisbury Pass. Elevation 3,300 feet. Now at the wind, it's chilly. I got a jacket on. It's only in the 60s right now. Go figure, Death Valley in March. But you never know. Okay, way down there. There's the valley. What's the old song? Down in the valley? You don't want me singing it. Well, I'll just keep my eyes open. They say a little farther down around Jubilee Pass is where they were spotting a bunch of them. That's around the 1,500, 1,400 foot level. Then we'll keep trucking down. It's getting greener. All the bushes and sagebrush and all that out here. Some of this road got wiped out. They had to redo the road. This road hasn't been open that long. I'm looking. We'll find them. Alright, here's the end of the maintained road. 178 ends. Now all of this will be National Park maintained. Right there you can see the color change in the pavement, and that's it. It's official. Even lowered the speed limit. See that? Oh, I see all kinds of yellow and purple. Well, here's our first stop. We're not even down in the valley part yet. Well, get ready. Gonna get windy. Really green, isn't it? It's all brittle brush. But they are all over. You can tell where the water runs, especially in the washes. Look at them grow. Way down there is the valley. Isn't this neat? I'm glad I drove up here. See, there's some other ones starting. We're still up in elevation. Probably at this elevation they'll bloom in another few days or a week. You know, this won't last long. Especially winds like this. This will dry out the soil. These flowers won't be here very long. That's the bad part. Alright, well, let's see what else we can find. Can you say heading down? The history in this Death Valley, the name Death Valley, though, that's something. It is a harsh, hot place, but it's also pretty. To me, desert's pretty. Very unusual. Look at all of the flowers. Both directions as far as I can see. It's all yellow. Alright, well, let's see what else we get. Alright, I think this, yep, Jubilee Pass right there at low sign. Let's see what we find. Oh yeah, I see colors. Front camera picking it up the best. I'll stop up here. Here's a good place. Oh yeah, there's flowers everywhere here. We're about 1,200 foot in elevation. I'll use my phone here. Maybe I'll get a couple photographs. I'll put pictures in the video here. Almost looks like a lawn, like a part of a green lawn, doesn't it? All the way up those hills, all green. There's some purple and some white ones. More than we've seen anywhere else, huh? All right, I'm gonna try a couple pictures. All right, well, kind of a little break of the wind right here. I don't know why, maybe the hills. As soon as I say that, I'll get knocked over with a gust. There's not much for good soil here. Rock and sand. It is Death Valley. You know, they say temperatures can get up to, what, at least 120. The record was 134, like we seen back in Baker. That was 1913. All right, here we go. That was a good spot. So mark it down if you're coming here, Jubilee Pass. You're gonna see a lot of color. And everything I seen online, they recommended from Badwater south for the best flowers. Once we get all the way down to the bottom, I guess there's big fields of them. Here's looking out to the side, what it looks like. I'm just using a handheld camera here. but you can see the greenery. Patches of yellow all over. And we're dropping down pretty quick in elevation. Aren't the mountains cool? Once we get all the way down, they are huge. They just shoot way up in the air. Way, way off. One is snow-capped. Can't really tell. It's out that direction. Now you can start seeing the valley floor straight ahead. As soon as I spot a good patch, we'll stop. I'm seeing colors, and I see a lot of them. I don't know how well the front camera's picking it up. We're gonna stop up here. We're almost down to the bottom here, to the floor. There's purple. Oh my goodness. Big patch right there. That whole backside of the hill. Wow. Here it is. Now you can see it. Both sides of the road as far as you can see. Here's your super bloom. As far as you can see, there are yellow flowers coming straight out of this hard pan, sandy rock. Back over here is where I seen all the purple. This is amazing. Wow. Look at them all. And here's your purple right here. Oh man. Even those shrubs out there, those bushes, everything's green. They can be green. Sure tell where the water runs, don't you? When it rains. Switch to the phone here, camera. I can zoom in a little bit more. And we're only at the beginning of it. We should find more. Right up the road, there's ruins from an old mill, mining mill. We'll run up there, but here is your Death Valley Super Bloom. That's a lot of acres, isn't it? This wind is kind of whipping me. I don't care. I'm here. We ain't going anywhere. We're going to keep trucking right up to Badwater, all the way to Furnace Creek, actually. I'm letting the van block the wind. It's like a dust storm starting way out there in the valley, huh? There's flowers out that way. You just can't see them real well. The sun is kind of blocking them out. Well, let's head on down. We'll go find that ruins. I forget the name of it. I switched cameras, see if it picks up the flowers any better. I don't know. A little bit. But on this side, you can really tell. I think the phone's doing a better job. There, now you can really see them in the wind. How many? There are just millions and millions of flowers. There's your Death Valley Super Bloom. Here's more purple. Let me make a quick stop here. See if I can get the GoPro to pick up on it. Find a place to pull off here. I don't know if you can tell, off to the right there's a lot of purple cover. Let me stop here. Look at all the purple. We went from yellow now down to purple. See it? You know, super blooms like in California, you got the poppies that, flutter. I don't think you get that here. I'm no flower expert. But this kind of ground cover in color in Death Valley. But just a few hundred yards up the road was the yellow. Now we're in the purple. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Sorry, I'm in awe. This is cool. This is, they claim, once in a decade. Even on the other side of the road, there's purple. Wow, look at the dust. All right, let's go find them ruins. All right, this is actually a junction. There's a dirt road. Probably need a Jeep. It goes out of the park that way to the left. When you look at it on the maps, there is color as far as you can see. Wow, both sides of the road here. It's called Ashford Mill Ruins up here. It's on the phone. And there are yellow flowers as far as you can see. Wow. I stopped here once before. Look at them all. Purple and yellow. And a lot of dust. See, these winds, they're going to dry these out in a hurry. I wouldn't wait too long if you're going to plan on coming here. Let me get the handheld camera. Look out the side. Now you can see them. See, there's a patch of purple. All the yellows. Just everywhere. This is valley floor. This isn't not like a big lawn. Incredible. No wonder everyone is raving about this. I'll walk down past the ruins. There's a ton of history here. Mining. They used to process ore or something here, something like that. All right, we're here. Hundreds and hundreds of years, well, probably even longer, they've been down this valley. Over 100 years ago, they were processing ore here. I bet they had blooms back then once in a while. Had to have. What's left of an old building right here. The microphone is muffled somewhat, but you might hear a little noise from there. Nothing I can do in these kind of winds. I think the phone would be worse. Old building, huh? Been standing here for 120 plus years. Nowadays you can't even find a 2x4 that's straight at Home Depot. You know what I'm noticing though? These flowers quit right when it gets to the valley floor. There's like a line drawn down here. There's nothing afterwards. Must be all the borax or salt down there. There's the line. That's where they end. It's like someone drew a line down there and the flowers stopped. Here's some purple. No clue what those are. They're like a little cluster. That wood is still here. Just a hot, dry, no humidity climate. As far as you can see though, it's even green though, even though the flowers stop, it's green out there. Imagine 120 years ago sitting here. There's your Kodak moment with the mountains behind it, huh? Zoom in a little. They're tall. What? They're about a foot tall. They've been growing a while. I think next week it's supposed to be in the 90s here. So it's going to heat up quick. Alright, here's the storyboard. That's what it used to look like. Finding fortunes. Processing that ore. Death Valley's been mined for minerals, gold, everything. Plus the borax. Borite, whatever they call it. And here's their sign. Ashford Mill Ruins. Gold. Where's that gold at? Look at that. Originally bought for 50 grand, sold it for 105,000. That was big bucks back then, I bet. Amazing, even if this is just what we found. That is absolutely amazing. Now you can see how far it goes. That's a long ways here. You can see for miles. Other folks are here. They're taking pictures. Everyone's got their camera out. I bet I see quite a few more going up towards Badwater. All right, well, we got a few miles to do. Look at that. There's a patch of purple right there. I'm loving this, if you can't tell. And more color. Perfect. But we got a few miles before we get up Furnace Creek. We'll see what happens along the way, huh? They're kind of thinning out a little bit. I gotta switch out batteries in the front camera. Not many here. There's a couple stragglers. But we're way down. I mean, we're below sea level in here. And they're still growing. Not much. But there's no soil. I mean, plus this dirt's gotta be not good for plants. Right there's the valley floor. All right, well, let me get geared up. We'll keep rolling. See what else we find. Little side view. There's color out there. I see patches. A lot of purple down in here. Look at this. There's a big section of yellow flowers. It's everywhere down here. Absolutely incredible. This is historic. Well, I'll just keep rolling. If I find good places, I'll pull off. A lot of open road down here in the valley like this. We still got a few miles left to get up to Badwater, where it's 280 feet below sea level. I thought I'd see more people out here, but we might once we get up a little farther, closer to Furnace Creek. I bet there will be folks. Road kind of hugs along the mountains in places. A lot of curves through here. Back a ways you could see where the road had washed over. They had closed this road after the heavy rains. I think back in December, whenever we got them, November, December, which created all these flowers. Ooh, there's water right there. I'm gonna pull off here. Let's go explore a little. Yep, we got flowers all the way up that hillside, even like little, well, I'm gonna call it grass, it's not, but goes straight up that hill. Wind is absolutely screaming right now. It's really not super cold, just a little breezy today. Let's walk over here. Thought I spotted water. There's some purple. way down here on the floor like this. Is that quartz or granite? Man, if that's quartz, get the metal detector out. You can't metal detect, though, in national parks. All protected, which it should be. Look at that. Hard as a rock. Barely has water on it. Kind of deceiving, isn't it? All right, well, let's hop back in the van. Keep trucking. But I don't think that's quartz. That's got to be some kind of a granite. Just stands out from all the color of the other rock, doesn't it? I bet back in the old mining days they were in there digging. The van is shaking. Feels like someone's on the outside pushing on it. Well, we're nice and warm and cozy in this thing. Well, let's see what else we can get into. Gotta be something up here. Well, how's that? As far as you can see in here, there's just patches. Even where the road narrows when you get close to the mountains, right along the road, there's color. Mainly the purple ones. But in here, there is just thousands and thousands of acres. I don't know how long. They go way up towards the mountains. Then when it gets real close to the valley floor, it just cuts off. History. Everything I read online, it was once in a decade. And actually, some of them even said best bloom in 20 years here. Still would have liked to have been back in the old days. You know, when I come to these places, this is the same view they had 100, 200, 300 years ago. All right, well, not too much farther up to Badwater. Wonder what we'll find up there. Just kind of going slow through here. Here's folks taking pictures. Why not? Just amazing. If you're close to this area, I would hurry up and get out here, because these aren't going to last super long. Probably too bad with the heavy. Of course, it's windy here all the time. It's just going to dry out the soil. They're going to probably die out, especially if it heats up. It's Death Valley. Duh. All right, let's head on up towards Badwater. Well, I'm just going to leave the camera on for a while till we run out of color. Why not, huh? We're here. Just mile after mile after mile of this bloom. I know I keep saying incredible, but look at this. Just keeps going and going and going. Some places are pretty thick, some aren't. Even when you make a turn in the road, it'll change color. Probably where the rain really soaked in when it was heavy. Here's your desert. Death Valley Desert in full bloom right here. A lot more cars. More people are out. All right. Thought I was going to make it up to Badwater. I couldn't help it. I had to stop here. My goodness. It's just endless. For more information on my travels, be sure to check out my website, RVerTV.tv. There you sign up free newsletter, putting one out once a month now. Got all kinds of cool articles, pictures, previous travels, future travels coming up. Plus, got the Armchair Traveler Series merch. Last year's 2025, heck yeah. Hats, shirts, all that, which is very popular, the heck yeah saying. And coming up soon, 2026, new merch will be out, new designs. I will be announcing the official name of this year's travel. I name every season. So that'll be coming up here and probably by the end of March. Just getting geared up, getting planned. Once again, it's RVerTV.tv, and I appreciate it very much. I see quite a few cars up here. What do they see? And they got cameras out. Uh-huh. Well, we gotta stop. Oh, I see. It's loaded with purple flowers. Oh, goodness. Purple everywhere. That's what they're doing here. Well, let's be one of them. Hang on to your hat. We're going back out in the wind. There it is. No yellow in here. It's just all that dark purple. Almost looks black from a distance. But they're everywhere up through there. And over here's the yellow. I'll be darned. Uh-oh, someone got pulled over up here by a ranger. You don't see that too often. With the crowds coming here with all the flowers, I bet their hands are full. There's water out there. Almost looks turquoise. You know, people come here to experience the heat. They want to be here in July and August when it's 120 just to get their picture down at the visitor center. I can't take the heat like that. Even being down in Quartzsite, middle of the summer, it is hot, hot. Lake Havasu, hot. All of Arizona. Especially along the Colorado River. Bullhead City, Laughlin, Needles, Vegas. All of it. Super hot, but not like here. Here it'll be another 10, 15 degrees. This being below sea level. Yay, made it. Right up here's Badwater. See if I can find a place to park. I'm just gonna only spend a couple minutes here. Look at that greenery on the right side of the hill. I'm not gonna spend a couple minutes. I'll go down and get a picture of the sign. I've filmed here before. I want to keep going. Right here will work. Just be here a few minutes. Way up there's a sign that says sea level. Right in the side of that rock cliff. Imagine coming to the work and your boss says, "Hey, got a little project for you. We're going to climb up this rock mountain and put this sign up there." Always wonder how they get it up there, huh? All right, here's Badwater. Right down there where you see the white, the pathway going out. You're about 280 feet below sea level. So right here we're probably about 240 or 50. I'll walk down there. I'll get a picture of the sign. You know, back in the old days, they had to deal with winds like these. Aren't those rocks cool looking though? Yeah, there's that sign. Let me use the phone, zoom in on it. It says sea level on there. That's that salty borax coming out of the soil. Here you go, Badwater Basin. 282 feet below sea level. Lowest place in North America. There's lower places over in the Middle East somewhere. I'm not walking all the way out there in this wind. I'm getting my steps in today, just doing what we're doing. We've come quite a few miles since we left Shoshone this morning. Made a lot of stops. Badwater pool. Do not drink the water. Nope. Looks tempting, huh? Alright, well, let's keep rolling. Okay, next stop, Furnace Creek. But there's greenery right there in that hillside. I bet we'll see more flowers. But we're only about 15, 16 miles up to Furnace Creek. Not too much farther. There's a museum there, a borax museum I'd like to check out once I get up there. I have no place to stay tonight, so I'm going to figure it out from there. When I checked online, pretty much everything was sold out. And you do not want to stay in one of those resorts. That's like $500 a night. No way. If I have to, I'll go out of the park and stay out in Nevada. Just outside the park. Alright, still got color. Right down into that white salt. That's where it stops. Wonder how much rain they had here. Because I think annual rainfall in Death Valley is like 2 inches for the whole year. They must have had that in a night. But it's barren, not a green shrub in sight. And we got yellow flowers both sides of the road here. Amazing. Up here somewhere is that Artist Drive. One of these times I'll take it. It's not today. It's like a big paved loop. It'll take you up around the backside of a mountain. There's more color right there. Just keeps going. All right, we're getting pretty close to Furnace Creek up here. We'll check the museum and see what else we can get into. Made it. I'm gonna park. There's a museum off to the left. There's actually a golf course here. They have water down here. Power, I think, is all solar and generators. There was 0 cell service all the way from Shoshone clear up to here. Now I got 3 bars on the cell phone. But what I do have mounted on the roof of the van now is Starlink. It's got a permanent antenna up there, so I do get internet. I had internet anywhere out along Badwater Road. Kind of cool, huh? All right, let's go check that museum. One of the fancy resorts here. Yeah, when you Google the room rates, depends what time of year, but it's up there. It's hundreds of dollars a night. All right, this is the Borax Museum. Now, just out of town is that Borax Works, the old wagons. Journey through time, see a glimpse of mining the borax. Well, borax is used for a lot of products, soaps, and I forget what else. Plastics, I think. And it's still used today. But they don't mine it with a bunch of mules and a wagon. But that was the way of life back then. 20 mule teams hauled more than 20 million pounds. Wow. They worked them. There's a steam-powered tractor thing. Could you imagine being around a steam-powered in this kind of heat? Man. There's your 20 mule team. Nice little museum. Very well displayed. There's no charge. You just come in. Different routes the 20 mule teams took. I think they traveled hundreds of miles to haul the ore out. Probably to places where railroads could pick up at the borax and all the other stuff. Because mining, you'd have all the minerals from mining, gold mining, silver mining. The visitor center has some info. I'll probably hit that tomorrow. Or maybe we'll go today. Look at them big crystal chunks. Wow. Huge. Faces from the past. They all had beards in their hats. That was life. Well, outside there's a bunch of old equipment we can walk around. I'll head out there. I've always wanted to come in here, never did. We're here today. Entire family right there. Old photographs. Two horsepower transportation right there. And railroad tracks. Look at that, they're driving a car on it. Well, old equipment. The wind seems slightly calmer here. Of course, we're blocked out by the buildings. Big old wooden wheel. Just all part of their mining operation here. Old time locomotive. To climb out of the valley here, that's steep, going up these mountain passes. Even in a car nowadays, they're 8-10% grade or better driving in and out of here. There is that steam-powered tractor. 120-degree weather, and they're going to say, set up next to that boiler. Woof. What a harsh job that would be. Called Old Dinah. Furnace Creek Resort. And here's your wagons. They always carried water and the ore coming out. 20 mule team. Remember the old commercials on TV? 20 mule team. 10 days and 165 miles you'd ride in one of these things. That had to be backbreaking. Well, let's go check out the lobby of the resort. I always wanted to do that. Those are wooden wheels on that big wagon. Still got the wind. Pretty fancy courtyard. Fountain's not going. There's a sign here that's going to give us the elevation. 190 feet below sea level. Well, it's warm, but not hot. All right, well, I'm gonna take a break for a while. Been a long day so far. I am going to figure out a plan. I will probably go out of the park tonight. There's RV parks just outside the park limits over by Death Valley Junction and also up at Beatty. I might do that. What an exciting day to see that bloom. Well, it ain't over. I'm going to come back into the park tomorrow. We'll explore some more around Death Valley. Hopefully the winds aren't this bad tomorrow, but who knows. What a fancy, fancy resort for national parks here. It's run by a private company, Xanterra or whatever they call it. But they get $500 a night just for a room. My goodness. Well, I hope you enjoyed this day 2 of our little trip up through the Mojave Desert, Death Valley. It ain't over. Tomorrow's a new day. Journey continues. Talk soon.